Welcome to the Stiff Arm. I'm Ron Mexico. Hell of a sports weekend. We finally had us some real football. None of this, the turf got stuck shit. We had games, man. Everyone played. To my, surprise or to my frustration, the Dolphins won. Albeit not pretty, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But the main thing I want to talk about right now is football is back. And not only is football back, but has returned to the city of Los Angeles. A lot of you probably say, who gives a shit? LA had two teams, they lost a team, fuck them. This is a huge television market. This is a huge void. I feel it's a piece of my childhood has gone back now that LA has a team. You know, for the past 20 years, I refuse to acknowledge that the Rams went to St. Louis. I like to pretend it was all a bad dream. But there's just something about the balance of any professional sports league. You've got to have a major team in Los Angeles. And I'm sorry, St. Louis. I know there were probably some good fans out there, and there are some loyal fans, and people who were legitimately upset about losing their team. You know, for as much as I bagged the Dolphins if they moved, I'd be pretty pissed off and pretty disgusted by it. And probably more, if you can believe it, more disgusted than I already am about the Miami Dolphins. But there's a lot of big things have happened in the city of Los Angeles, especially in the stadium that the Rams are playing in, the LA Coliseum. It was the site of the first Super Bowl. It holds a special place for me because it was the site of where the Dolphins ended their perfect season against the Redskins in Super Bowl VII. There's been World Series played in that stadium, 2 Olympics, and of course, it's where the romance between Reggie Bush and Kim Kardashian blossomed. But the thing I think is most frustrating about the Rams going back is that the Rams can't look like the Rams that I remember from the 70s, 80s, and into the early 90s, were in that blue and yellow gold color scheme. They're forced to still wear their old St. Louis colors, which to me is kind of like, getting sloppy seconds. It's like, she's still dripping this guy's load. I gotta fuck this? You shit me? You couldn't wash up? You couldn't wash your pussy before you fucked me again? So before the Rams fuck you again, LA, they could have at least washed up and bring back their old colors. But it's ridiculous. The NFL won't let them wear those uniforms until 2019. And the reason why is because they have to submit permission to overhaul their uniforms between January and March of a new year. Then it takes 2 years to implement that new uniform. It's like a fucking HOA. It's like trying to get... I think you can get your house approved, painting for your house approved faster. I mean, this is ridiculous. Who gives a shit? What is your biggest problem, NFL? Because you're going to lose revenue on those shirts? Hey, take a fucking loss, send them to Botswana with all the other, Super Bowl champion Buffalo Bills shirts that are down there, and, Denver before you guys could win Super Bowls, and any other team that lost Super Bowl. Those shirts all wind up in Africa. Matter of fact, I think some of the teams in the opening ceremonies of the Olympics from Africa, I could have swore I saw a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl 26 shirt somewhere amongst that. But give me a fucking break, NFL. You're going to make... you already have something like 50,000 obnoxious amount of season ticket holders already. You don't think they're going to buy swag, new swag, especially the yellow and gold swag? You're sadly mistaken and missing the boat on this for some ridiculous fucking rules in regards to uniforms, NFL. I don't know if a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but the only time I ever want to see a pool green is in a pool hall. This past Saturday, I was watching diving. It was the springboard diving, and the pool was green. I mean, green, not like pretty St. Patrick's Day green. I mean, this shit looked like what you would call your neighbors on if their pool pump broke and they said, fuck it. I mean, this looked like shit that the creature from the Black Lagoon crawled out of. I mean, it was just bad. I mean, I've never seen it. These girls are diving into this shit, and I was like, how, as an athlete, as an Olympic athlete? I mean, I guess you've just trained that hard, and you said fuck it, but they deemed it safe. Now, safe for Brazil is certainly not safe in this country. I mean, the report I read online said first they blamed the water turning green because there wasn't enough wind and it was hot and it was an algae bloom. But it was safe to swim in. Florida, if that shit happens, they tell you to stay the fuck out of the water because you can get something called spinal bifida. Then they reportedly determined that it was whoever the contractor was that serviced the pool put too much hydrogen peroxide in the water, and hydrogen peroxide has effectively negates what chlorine does, which is kills germs and keeps the water clear. So the shit turned like olive drab green. I mean, like it was green and black. I mean, this looked like shit that you would see at Gatorland here in Orlando, where they dangle chickens over the water. I mean, these girls were diving in. I was waiting to see a set of jaws come up and just, and that would be the end of it. But I mean, Brazil, shame on you, brother. I mean, I don't know what kind of bullshit. I don't know if that bullshit flies where you are, but man, come on, get the fuck out of here. That water was not the least bit safe to swim in at all. I mean, I'd rather take my chances going in the fucking Hudson River or the East River, for that matter, than this bullshit. Hi, I'm Ron Mexico, and I'm a Puerto Rican. Yeah, believe it or not, I am. All of this whiteness, there's a Puerto Rican underneath it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but we all don't look like what you stereotypically have in mind of what a Puerto Rican should look like. I can validate, though, that I did get cursed out a lot, quite a bit in Spanish. I am in possession of one of these. This is what we use to make those fried bananas. You guys wonder what the hell they are. They're called tostones. Actually, the most interesting experience I ever had was being asked by my brother-in-law what the difference was between a Puerto Rican and a Mexican. And I had to break the news to him and tell him we can vote. Yeah, since 1917. Well, in 118 years, I don't know, I forgot how many of those, I think maybe 6, Puerto Rico's been eligible to compete for Olympic medals. And they've never won a gold medal. I'm not sure if they won any other kind of medals. I mean, maybe I know their rum won a shitload of gold medals, but in the Olympics wise, never had won a medal. So what happens? Monica Puig wins the first gold medal in tennis, and it's not like she beat like some fucking no name. She beat the number 2 tennis player in the world, this kraut named Angelique Kerber, who's number 2 in the world and worth $14 million. It's quite a bit of cash. So that girl's, it's not like, again, good ball player. I don't know if they call ball players. I guess so. They play with balls. So she beats her. And the thing that I was most surprised by was the fact that they have a national anthem. I never thought about that because Puerto Rico's never won. It's been 118 years we've been eligible. Finally won one. So as they're getting ready to play the Puerto Rican national anthem, I start thinking, whoa, what the hell is it? Is it going to be Tito Puente song? Menudo? What? Jennifer? There's so many options. Jennifer Lopez, Big Pun. No, it was like a song that was. I swear to God, it sounded like it was written after probably a drunken domino game or cockfight, your choice. But let's take a listen, shall we, of what the Puerto Rican national anthem sounds like. This is for reals. I mean, this is the song, right? It sounds like everything that's ever been played in any... I mean, this actually, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like the music in The Godfather where Al Pacino gets married and the girl eventually gets blown up in the car. That's what this kind of sounds like to me. But there's really lyrics to this, which I don't know if they'll allow me to read the lyrics, but fuck it, here it goes anyway. So this is the lyrics of this actual song it's playing, right? The land of Borinquen, where I was born, is a flowery garden of magical beauty. Oh wait, there's more. A constantly clear sky serves as its canopy. And placid lullabies are sung by the waves at its feet. When at her beaches Columbus arrived, he exclaimed full of admiration, "Oh, oh, oh, this is the beautiful land that I seek." Borinquen is the daughter of the sea and the sun. Of the sea and the sun, of the sea and the sun, of the sea and the sun, of the sea and the sun. I don't know where the fuck they sing that in this song, at whatever point this crescendo shit is, but I don't think it was that. The beautiful land I think Columbus saw, I think, were the asses of the Taínos, which are the Indians that lived in Puerto Rico, is what the Taínos are. But, I mean, that's your song. I mean, very, very interesting. But you know what? In 118 years, Not only have we become masters at tennis, but you know what? We're the best in the world at rums, dominoes, stickball, cockfights. We got Rosie Perez, booty, wearing leopard, and now tennis. Congratulations, Monica, for winning your gold medal. Hang on to it, because you know us Puerto Ricans like snatching change. You know how fast we are at that. And finally tonight on the Stiff Arm with Ron Mexico, the preseason is upon us. Dolphin season is back, and the 2016 incarnation of the Miami Dolphins looks just as shitty as the past regimes that we have watched. Now, I know it's preseason, it's one game, and you shouldn't get too high over your team doing anything good or too low over how bad your team performs. But this just looks like typical mid-season shit from the Dolphins. You got a line that's supposed to be vastly improved that is not doing a goddamn thing. I mean, they went through the line like shit through a goose. And the guy that was doing the most burrowing through the shit through the goose was an ex-guy named Olivier Vernon, which for some reason the Dolphins just have impeccable luck with cutting guys and them going to other teams and just making us look like shit, which isn't hard to do because, let's face it, they look like shit. The only real thing I noticed different was, there weren't aqua pants on the road this year. Other than that, double S, double D with these Dolphins this year. There's your 2016 season prediction right there. This is coming. I'm channeling this straight from Charlie India from Beyond the Grave. Same shit, different day. Nothing's going to fucking change. Nothing will change. The only thing that will stay constant is that we're inconsistent. And speaking of being consistent, once again, the Miami Dolphins have requisitioned a name change for what I still call Joe Robbie Stadium. I refuse to acknowledge the other names that they give. As a matter of fact, most stadiums I'm very against acknowledging new whatever the fuck they want to be called. But now for the next 18 years, Joe Robbie Stadium will, for some reason, people will be calling it the Hard Rock Stadium. I don't know why, because I still call it Joe Robbie. And the interesting thing I saw was for every time there's a name change, it always seems to be a head coaching change. So that must be something they coincide with. So maybe this means, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe if we're stuck with this name for 18 years, Gase might do something and might become the next Shula. But since Shula was the coach, now Shula was there from 70 to 95, the Dolphins had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different coaches, 9 different name changes since 1987 when Joe Robbie Stadium, and I still call it Joe Robbie Stadium, opened up. Nothing. This is another issue. I mean, let's put it this way about the name. It could be called worse, because at one time it was called Pro Player Stadium or Pro Player this or Pro Player that. And Pro Player is a subsidiary of Fruit of the Loom, so we were named after underwear. So there's a lot worse shit we can be named after. And it's kind of like the name change is like them getting another coach. It's just like, Liz Taylor or any other celebrity that gets, they got married again. Big fucking whoop. That whore will get divorced anyway. And that's what's going to happen. That's why I have no attachment to anything. At some point, Gase will be gone in the next 2-3 years, but the Hard Rock will stay the same. And hopefully in those years, legislation will change. Because you know what, Dolphins? You're going to need a lot more than bells and whistles. You made a beautiful stadium. Now, if you want to keep us in there and truly make it the Hard Rock and give us the Vegas experience of Hard Rock, let's start allowing whores in there. Let's have some gambling. Let's have some... what else can we have? I mean, let's have a smoking room. Let's legalize pot, and let's have a smoking room in this stadium. Just think of your concession stands will go up. You can get sponsorships from Dorito, Mountain Dew, and M&M's. You guys are going to make a fucking killing. Plus, you're going to need smoking rooms and dispensaries in that stadium to keep us dumb and continuously watching this shit. Speaking of shit, that's all the time I got for today, because I think I got to go take one. Thanks again for tuning in, folks. This is Ron Mexico saying peace, love, and beer.